When I first played The Last of Us, I wasn't just watching the world fall apart through Sarah's eyes. It felt like I was experiencing it with her. In just a handful of scenes, the game makes you really care for Joel and Sarah. But just as you start to form that connection, the rug gets pulled from under you in one of the most brutal ways imaginable.
Oh no. Sarah?
It's not the apocalypse then that sticks with you, it's Joel losing Sarah and the way he breaks in that moment. Our father's world is shattered. Fast forward 20 years, he embarks on a journey that can potentially mend his broken heart or harden it forever. The Last of Us takes us through a world devastated by infection, with humanity just barely hanging on to hope and the unlikely bond between Joel and Ellie. In today's video then, we'll revisit this harrowing adventure and the consequences of our decisions that define us.
But man, can't deny that view.
For Joel, change came through loss. Not the kind that pushes you towards some grand revelation, but the kind that drains you and leaves you with a face that says, "Don't ever speak to me, ever." Grief didn't inspire him, it just built up walls. And in the decades since, he and Tess have carved out a life in this federal-controlled world. They're not exactly running a friendly neighborhood delivery service, but if you need something moved quietly, no questions asked, they're the ones to call. We've gone from quiet suburbia to full-blown military lockdown, where food shopping means standing in a ration line that moves slower than a dead escalator. And after all that waiting, there ain't no meal deals, just dry bread that tastes like disappointment. Step out of line though, and well, there's no speak to the manager option found here. Joe wakes up not from the heat, but from Tess knocking at the door. She's got bruises. That wakes him up fast. Turns out Robert got spooked when he heard they were after him. With Joel out of the way, he saw an opening, which was definitely a bad call, because if there's one thing worse than dealing with Joel, it's dealing with Tess when she's pissed.
Let us through.
You guys need to turn around and head back if you know what's good for you.
Our beef isn't with you. We just want Robert. You don't want to do this.
Turn the fuck around and leave now.
Fuck this.
The two then step outside to settle things, but just stepping outside makes it clear this world is unforgiving. Fedra rule through fear. Civilians are screened for infection, and if they fail, there's no second chances.
Eyes forward.
Rations are tightly controlled, keeping people desperate while black markets thrive in the shadows. Money doesn't mean much anymore in this world. Now it's all about food, meds and ammo. It's a system built to break people, and when people break, they fight back. And that's where the Fireflies come in, a resistance group fighting for freedom, or at least in their version of it. Some see them as a beacon of hope, but with other people they see them as just another faction causing chaos. Say what you want about the Fireflies though, they're willing to do whatever it takes to tear down Fedra's grip. Joel and Tess track Robert down. They cut through all his men until there's nowhere left for him to run. He tries to talk his way out of it, but Joel's patience is gone, so then a few broken bones later, Robert finally cracks.
Who has our guns?
I owed the Fireflies.
One shot later, and Robert is yesterday's problem.
Well, now what?
We go get our merchandise back.
How?
I don't know. We just go find a Firefly.
We won't have to look very far.
Marlene shows up bleeding, but still very much in charge. She's not here for revenge though. She's got a proposition for the two. She needs something smuggled, or rather someone. Because clearly Joel and Tess haven't had enough problems today. Joel and Tess take the job. Marlene eventually leads Joel and Tess to what she calls the cargo. But it's not just any cargo, it's a teenage girl named Ellie. And let's just say the introduction here then doesn't go smoothly.
There's a crew of Fireflies that'll meet you at the Capitol building.
We're smuggling her?
After this, Marlene doesn't offer much in the way of details. Just that getting Ellie to her destination then is critical. She's vague about why, which doesn't really sit right with Tess. She demands to see the goods Marlene promised, leaving Joel to babysit while she checks things out. Ellie herself isn't exactly thrilled about this whole arrangement, and when Marlene tries to reassure her, saying that she's in good hands with Joel, you can practically feel his eyes roll. As they head into a nearby apartment, Ellie tries to break the ice. Joel, on the other hand, responds with all the warmth of an unplugged fridge. He could give
two shits what you're up to.
Well, great.
Good.
if it wasn't already obvious that he simply got no interest in bonding with Ellie. Once inside then, Joel does what any overworked and underpaid smuggler would do. He gets comfy and calls it a day. Because really, what else is there to do in an apocalypse?
Holy shit. Is that your people? What's left of them? Why do you think I'm turning to you guys?
It's not like there's a working telly to mindlessly scroll through the channels. Maybe he and Ellie could kill time with a game of Monopoly, which isn't a bad way to bond, right? At least until someone inevitably flips the board in frustration, which, let's be real, wouldn't take long. By the time Joel wakes up, it's dark. She adds that he mumbles in his sleep, catching Joel off guard. Oh, great. First, he gets stuck with babysitting duty. Now he's getting performance reviews on his sleep habits. What's next? A critique on his snoring technique? He doesn't dignify it with much of a response and pops it under the things I'm not going to entertain right now section.
To be honest with you, I give two shits what you're up to.
Tess returns. She's checked everything out and they're good to go. Joel tries to get a read on Ellie. He figures there's got to be a reason Marlene's got half a lung left but still chooses to prioritize this mission for some reason. Ellie doesn't quite answer this, going for the more vague approach.
Look, I'm not supposed to tell you why you're smuggling me, if that's what you're getting at.
Two shits what you're up to.
Well, great.
Good.
Before heading out, Joel shares his doubts with Tess. To him, this whole job feels off. Why would the Fireflies trust them with something this important, right? But Tess doesn't agree though, adding that Marlene wanted to handle it herself, but that she had no choice. And as it turns out, they weren't even her first or second pick for that matter. With that in mind, they take the lift down and head outside. Stepping outside, they're immediately hit by the heavy rain, the kind that makes you wish for an umbrella. Or better yet, an entirely different plan. But there's no time to complain. Federal guards are patrolling the area, and just like that, the real danger begins.
Don't do anything stupid.
The guards stop them then and start running a scan. Tess tries to smooth things over with a bribe.
Shut up.
But before anything can be settled, Ellie ends up panicking. She stabs one of the guards and just like that, everything goes sideways. And then when the dust settles, Tess picks up the scanner to see what's up. She turns to Joel, alarmed.
Jesus Christ. Marlene set us up? Why the hell are we smuggling an infected girl?
At the sight of this, Joel's furious and already convinced Marlene has set them up. But before he can spiral, Ellie jumps in, trying to explain.
Better explain fast.
It's 3 weeks old.
No, everyone turns within 2 days, so you stop bullshitting.
I swear. Why would she set you up?
Joel, however, isn't easily sold. He's not buying this for 1 second. To him, this whole thing screams disaster. With Fedra back up on his way, they push forward, slipping through the chaos. Eventually, they reach a gated sewer entrance where they find a moment to breathe. Ellie tells her that with the Fireflies, they think they can create a cure. Joel doesn't even try to hide his disbelief. Ellie then fires back, not holding any punches.
Fuck you, man. I didn't ask for this.
Me neither. Tess, what the hell are we doing here?
What if it's true?
But with Tess, however, she's not quick to dismiss it like Joel. She, on the other hand, seems to be willing to consider the possibilities, even as Joel continues then to refuse the situation.
I get it.
Joel reminds Tess of the dangers ahead, and whatever else might be lurking in the dark, waiting to ruin their day. Basically the worst kind of sightseeing tour ever made, and with that they step into the ruins beyond the checkpoint. At this point, the plan is simple. Hand Ellie off to the Fireflies, get their reward and go back to their lives. With no drama, no complications. But of course, life never works out that smoothly.
What the hell was that?
Tess, you hear that?
Yeah.
Runners and clickers can be heard close by. Ellie gets all tense, but Joel doesn't react. He's been through this too many times to flinch at random background horror noises. As they move deeper into the city, they hit a dead end. The road ahead is gone, with just a nice long drop into nothing. Inside, Joel spots a corpse. It's fresh, which is a bad sign. They move towards the door ahead, but it's jammed. Joel and Tess force it open, but their combined efforts end up sending a cabinet crashing below, loud enough to wake up the dead. A clicker then screeches and lunges straight at Joel. Tess reacts fast, taking it down just in time.
You alright?
It's nothing.
Eventually they enter what looks like an abandoned subway. Joel spots a body and realizes it's not a Firefly, just another unlucky group. Tess, after hearing this, can exhale.
See? They're not our guys.
Tess uses the downtime to question Ellie, asking how Ellie got bitten. Ellie admits it happened during a trip to the mall when she snuck out after curfew, but she explains that she was bitten by what Tess and Joel call runners. After this had happened, Ellie recalls how she went to Marlene for help, but she was nearly shot on sight. An understandable reaction given how rare it is for anyone bitten to remain normal after this. As they navigate, a sudden collapse separates Joel from Tess and Ellie.
I'm alive. I'll make my way around.
Look, they're here!
Tess?
Run!
Joel pushes through the building, circling back to Tess and Ellie just in time to see Tess struggling against the runner. Ellie shouts for help as another infected targets her, and while Ellie's immunity means she doesn't have to fear being bitten, she's still a child vulnerable to the sheer strength and brutality of these creatures. It's not the bite then that she has to worry about, it's being torn apart. Joel acts quickly, using the environment to his advantage. The satisfying thunk of a brick meeting infected skulls never gets old. The rooftops ahead lead them to the Capitol building, their final destination. As they climb, the break of dawn paints the horizon, offering a rare fleeting moment of peace. For now, the end is in sight, but what awaits them at the Capitol building is anyone's guess. As the brief moment of stillness fades, Joel and Ellie take the opportunity to look at the sunrise.
So is that everything you hoped for?
But they know they can't stay here forever. Ellie pushes forward, making her way down the ladder towards the Capitol building, while Joel lingers for a second longer. Tess, however, is eager to move on. Frustrated then, Tess snaps him out of it.
Stay focused.
Yes, ma'am.
Tess tries to stay positive, but if you're paying attention, something about her seems off. As they approach their destination, Ellie hesitates. There's a problem. She can't swim, and the path ahead is waist deep in water. But Tess reassures her, pointing out a shallow path to the right and leading the way. It's a small thing, but just another reminder of how unprepared Ellie is for the world. At one point, she stops to thank them, acknowledging that she knows that they're only doing their job, but even so, she appreciates it. She's just 14 and has never been out of the quarantine zone, and knows that right now she needs Joel and Tess more than ever.
I'm glad Marlene hired you guys. Trying to say thanks.
Yeah, sure thing.
Inside the Capitol building, the mood shifts. More dead fireflies can be seen, with their plan that they were relying on gone.
Yes.
Maybe they had a map or something to tell us where they were going.
How far are we gonna take
As
this?
far as it needs to go. Where was this lab of theirs?
Oh, she never said. She only mentioned that it was someplace out west.
What are we doing here? This is not us.
What do you know about us?
She lays it all out. She spent years doing terrible things with Joel, but this was her chance to do something right. While Joel, frustrated, is ready to turn back. This isn't their fight after all, so what's the big deal? But Tess doesn't want to let it go. Joel brushes it off as survival, but Tess isn't having it. Their luck was bound to run out eventually. And now, it has.
Now we tried. Let's just go home.
This is my last stop.
She shows in the bite, comparing it to Ellie's. Hers is fresh and already spreading, while Ellie's hasn't changed. She now believes strongly that whatever's happening to Ellie is real. Understandably in a frenzy then, Tess begs Joel to take Ellie to her brother Tommy, adding that he'll know where to go. Joel hesitates, but she pushes harder. If nothing else, then she needs this to mean something.
You have to feel some sort of obligation to me, so you get her to Tommy's.
Fedra is closing in. Tess makes her choice. She buys Joel and Ellie time, staying behind while they escape.
There's no way that...
I will not turn into one of those things. Make this easy for me.
Get a move on.
But Ellie doesn't take it well. As they run, she lashes out.
We just left her to die.
Stop. You stay close to me. We have to move.
Oh, man.
Copy that.
The chase doesn't let up. The Federal soldiers push them into an abandoned subway, forcing them to slip through the dark, flooded tunnels.
How the hell are you breathing in this stuff?
I wasn't lying to you.
Ellie is still processing it when she brings up Tess, but Joel shuts it down, telling her not to bring it up again, ever. Joel lays out the next step.
There's a town a few miles north of here. There's a fella there that owes me some favors.
If they can find him, they might be able to get a car and finally start making some real progress west, towards their destination.
Oh, there we go.
Ellie starts to ask about him. Joel explains that their dealings were never in one place. He admits he's never actually been in Bill's town, just that he has an idea where it could be. Inside his town there's a sense of isolation and tension. You can't help but feel the weight of Bill's solitary and defensive mindset. Every trap and barricade serves as a reminder of his loneliness and mistrust that's driven him to isolate himself from a world gone mad, where he achieves his safety at the expense of human connection and hope. Which is interesting to think about because in contrast to this, the Telltale Walking Dead series of games featuring Clementine and Lee tends to offer a narrative centered on their relationships and moral choices. While both settings are understandably bleak, the world of The Walking Dead is less about the isolation of singular survivalists and more about the struggle to retain one's humanity amidst all the chaos. Lee and Clementine's journey is as much about forging bonds and finding trust as it is about survival. The environment in those games, though grim, often carries a glimmer of hope through human connection and the possibility of redemption, even in the face of relentless adversity, whereas Bill's town embodies solitude built from fear and deep-seated distrust of others. In comparison then, it's interesting to see how both Bill and Lee find their own ways to survive in a world beyond repair, with no clear right or wrong method here. It's not as simple as saying one approach is better than the other. From my perspective then, it all comes down to what you can live with. Bill built his life around control and isolation, believing that keeping people at a distance was the only way to stay alive. Lee, on the other hand, took more risks. He chose to protect Clementine, to open himself up to something bigger than just survival. And in the end, both paths came with their own costs. So when Joel calls Bill a good guy but says it's not exactly stable, that's a fair assessment. Bill's way might not be for everyone, but for him it works, until Joel and Ellie come into the town and set off his traps and disturb his way of living.
Your friend a bit paranoid, maybe?
That's putting it lightly.
Fireflies. I mean, real fireflies.
Yeah, I see that.
And Joel, for all his gruffness, acts like it's just business as usual, but I'd bet that deep down he feels something, maybe just a little joy. Seeing Ellie get excited over a world that's long gone, a world far different from the one he remembers. They come across a house. Inside, Joel searches a bedroom for supplies, but in the next room, a runner suddenly attacks.
Jeez!
After dealing with it, they find a note, written by someone named Ezra to a woman named Rachel. In it, he explains that Fedra was forcing people onto buses, and he had to leave in a hurry, in hopes that he would reunite with her in the quarantine zone. Ezra's note is a harsh reminder that survival isn't just about avoiding the inevitable, it's about what you're willing to sacrifice to stay alive. Rachel, for all we know, chose freedom and probably lost her life for it, while Ezra stayed safe but lost the person he cared about in the process. Bill clung to isolation and ended up alone, but Tess wanted something more. She believed in a greater purpose, something beyond just getting by. Tess took a risk and left Joel with something to fight for.
You have to feel some sort of obligation to me, so you get her to Tommy's.
And now, as Joel takes Ellie to Tommy, he has to decide, will he live like Ezra, stuck in the past and drowning in regret, or will he finally open up the way Tess and Ellie need him
Think they
to?
ever found each other?
How the hell would I know?
Well, I'd like to think they did. I'm not letting you go.
Before Joel can react, he steps inside and triggers a trap, leaving him suspended upside down. While Ellie scrambles to cut the counterweight, while Joel is left hanging, trying to fend off approaching infected. Ellie finally manages to free him, but Joel crashes to the ground hard.
Get off your ass on your feet.
With no time to catch their breath, infected are closing in. Bill leads them through the chaos, dodging and fighting their way to safety. Eventually they make it inside a secure building, where at last they can stop running and finally have a proper conversation.
That was close.
Ellie and Joel can take this time to relax and process everything.
Ellie,
Bill doesn't even acknowledge it. Instead, he grabs her and cuffs her to a nearby pipe, his paranoia kicking in full force, as his eyes then lock onto Joel.
Anything sprouting?
Oh, God damn it, I'm clean!
If I see so much as a twig.
Ow! Stop!
After some back and forth, Bill begrudgingly agrees to help him, letting them scavenge for supplies before they head out.
Follow me. Oh, goddamn town's booby trapped. Best stay right on my ass.
can't miss it.
Once they're done, there's some small talk from Bill on their way to their next destination. We've seen how particular Bill can be, but it gets worse as his incurableness continues to wind up Ellie and get nosy about Joel and Tess.
What are you delivering? That little brat?
Haha, fuck you too. Are you kidding me with this guy?
You didn't answer my question about Tess. Yeah, I thought the two of you were inseparable.
She's busy.
Yeah, sure.
So, Why don't you fix one of these cars?
Oh my God, you're a genius.
Bill can't help himself and makes fun of her for blurting this out.
done?
Before he can go on, a group of infected interrupts them. Bill doesn't hold back his thoughts either. He starts advising Joel to take Ellie back.
This goes on record as the worst fucking job you've ever taken.
Little does he know the amount of damage he's doing to Joel and Ellie's mission.
Well, the broad's not as smart as I thought she was. Fuck her. Seriously, you gotta take that kid back to where you found her.
I can't just take her back.
From Bill's perspective, Joel's decision to stick with Ellie is reckless, but it's clear his cynicism isn't just based on Joel's choices. This is Bill's projection of his own fear of heartbreak, his obsession with survival, and his need to avoid any risk that could compromise his safety.
Ow! Stop!
Bill explains, every few weeks, a military cabin comes through town. He assumes they're looking out for supplies. It's enough for Joel to pick up the plan from there.
We take that battery and we put it in another car.
Bingo.
Look, there's a school.
Ready?
Guess we'll find out.
The next leg of the journey is clear then, and it's shaping up to be a school run like no other.
Yeah, come on, you don't need to be looking at that.
I've seen worse.
All right, then.
Ellie finds a quiet moment with Joel inside one of the homes.
I just want to say I'm sorry about Tess. That's it. I won't bring it up.
It becomes clear to the player that she's been holding it in since Tess's last stand. Joel simply replies with,
Ellie, you don't need to worry about me. We should go check on Bill.
Okay.
as the school looms closer, suddenly an angry mob of infected is closing in fast.
Come on, Bill! Windows open! Hurry!
Ellie slams the window shut, barricading them inside. Catching their breath, Bill checks the truck, but something is wrong.
It's empty. What? Fucking empty!
Bill, where to?
Bill, where? Anywhere but here.
You made the hallways.
They end up sprinting inside of the school, locking the doors behind them as Joel leads the way out.
Follow me. I'll get us.
Be my guest.
They make it to the school gym, barricading the entrance for a brief moment of calm. But it doesn't last.
What the fuck is that?
Ellie, just stay away from it.
What's up with that big guy?
It's been infected for a long time. We call them bloaters.
They escape out the back of the school, stumbling into an abandoned house,
So that worked out well.
with Joel giving it the look like now's not the time.
Okay. I'll go check out this side of the house.
Bill spots a corpse hanging from a noose. He knows the shirt. It's his partner, Frank.
Reckon he didn't want to turn, so he...
Well, fuck him.
Look what I found. It's got some juice in it.
Bill immediately recognizes the battery. It turns out Frank took it from the school. Even in the afterlife, he found a way to leave Bill with one final headache to deal with.
You know this guy or something?
Ironically though, for Joel and Ellie, it's a lifeline that they can use right now. Inside, he finds a note from Frank, a bitter farewell. It's filled with resentment towards Bill's stubbornness. Frank makes it clear he left because he could no longer stand living under Bill's controlling nature. This moment also challenges everything Bill believes.
Wisen the fuck up. And I realize it's gotta be just me.
Well, fuck you too, Frank.
Instead of confronting the hurt, he shuts it down. He refuses to acknowledge the pain, as if ignoring it will make it hurt any less. He spent years convinced that relying on others is a weakness, that staying alone is the only way to survive. Yet Frank's departure proves the opposite. Isolation doesn't protect him from heartbreak. It only guarantees that when he does lose someone, he's left with nothing but regret.
Fucking idiot.
In a way, this moment foreshadows Joel's own journey with Ellie.
Why don't you just take me back to Marlene?
If she was up to the task, why'd she drop you off on us?
He too will have to decide whether to embrace the bonds that inevitably form or resist them in a world that punishes attachment.
So you get her to Tommy's.
The plan is for the group to push the truck, allowing the alternator to kick in and charge the battery.
Look, you wanted a plan B. This is as good as it gets.
Joel and Bill leap into the back, speeding away from the chaos.
Stop!
As Bill pops out ready to part ways, Joel hesitates for a moment, acknowledging that what happened back there for Bill was rough. At this point, he just wants to know if they're square, as Joel gives him the okay. And with that, Bill keeps it simple.
And get the fuck out of my town.
As the storm transitions to daylight, Joel encourages Ellie to get some sleep.
I'm not even tired.
Ellie's peaceful nap comes to an end when Joel stops the truck. The road ahead is completely blocked. Turning back isn't an option.
Screw it.
Easy.
Ellie's still shaking off her nap, is puzzled, but Joel knows exactly what's happening. Before they can react, Ellie is grabbed by the scavengers who ambush them. Joel is also caught off guard, getting his head smashed through glass. He barely manages to free himself. The player reaches Ellie, but not before she gets smacked up too. After he saves her, it's game time. The player gets a grim reminder of what's in store for them if they slip up, and let's just say it's not a slap on the wrist.
Fucking hunters. See, this could have been us.
The hunters have stripped this town of everything useful, and I mean everything. Back in the store where Joel was ambushed, the fridges are bare. No milk, no juice, no fizzy drinks rolling around on the bottom of the shelf. Heck, at this point, even a slightly expired tin of beans would be a luxury. The scavengers around here aren't looking to rebuild society or join some greater cause. They don't care about Fedra, the Fireflies, or any of the so-called factions fighting for control.
Was that everything you hoped for?
With no grand ideologies to be found here, the motto seems to be, if you have something we want, congratulations, it's ours now. It's survival of the fittest, and unfortunately for anyone passing through, that usually means the hunters are the only ones making it out in one piece. Ellie's curiosity never really takes a break, and honestly, who can blame her? A lot's gone down. Joel almost ended up as meat for those freezers back in the store. As they walk, Ellie asks, "How did you know that was an ambush?" With Joel's reply being short but telling.
I've been on both sides.
And it prompts Ellie to follow up with the obvious question.
You kill a lot of innocent people?
I'd imagine after hearing this, Tess's words from earlier echo in the back of your mind.
Guess what? We're shitty people, Joel. It's been that way for a long time.
We are survivors.
This is our...
It wasn't just about chasing Dan and killing Robert back at the start of all this. No, sir.
Well, now what?
Joel's past runs deeper and darker. The bodies in the garage and the ruthlessness we've seen, it all makes sense now. Joel wasn't just a bystander to the horrors of this world. He was a participant.
Just give me a couple...
And wow, that's a lot to take in. It's dark, sure, but it's also pragmatic. Joel is nothing but a survivor shaped by grief in a crumbling world. But it does make you think, how does that make you feel about Joel? Survival is the name of the game, but at what cost?
I didn't mean for this.
Get a move on.
As they move through the area, the scent of burning bodies lingers, fires now reduced to ash.
Yeah, come on, you don't need to be looking at that.
I've seen worse. I don't think these guys were infected.
For Ellie, it's a grim lesson about just how cruel and sinister these hunters can be. It's like Hannibal Lecter himself left his mark on these people.
Well, it don't matter. Let's just keep moving.
Up ahead, Joel points out their next destination, but Ellie's had more than enough cannibal horror for one day.
There's some pretty gnarly stuff in here.
She's ready to keep it moving. Never mind the fact that they were nearly turned into roadkill by hunters 5 minutes ago, Ellie's got other priorities. As they walk, Ellie starts to whistle, breaking the silence like it's just a normal day out.
That's awesome.
Because, you know, dodging bullets and nearly getting their heads caved in wasn't enough. Now he's got to deal with a beginner whistler too. At this rate, he's better off taking his chances with the hunters.
Oh, good. Something else you can drive me crazy with.
The mood lightens as they head into an abandoned military zone. Ellie, ever the optimist, pulls out the pun book.
Wrong. Hold on, let me read it again. A book just fell on my head. I only have my shelf to blame.
Followed up by,
I walked into my sister's room and tripped on a bra. It was a booby trap.
it's just Ellie being Ellie.
That's awful.
You're awful.
Despite growing up in such a harsh, post-apocalyptic world, Ellie's humor keeps a sense of childhood innocence alive. That's partly because Joel carries the burden of the heavy stuff. He may not outwardly appreciate her jokes, but deep down, I'm sure there's a part of him that enjoys their moments together. Joel remains stoic, focused on survival, carrying the sense of duty left to him by Tess.
Yes, ma'am.
Sure, the timing's a bit off. 1 second we're dodging hunters, the next we're debating the finer points of pun delivery.
Oh, good. Something else you can drive me crazy with.
That's awesome.
But that's just how life is now, where laughter and violence go hand in hand like some kind of twisted buddy cop duo. It actually kind of reminds me of Judith, the little ass kicker, and Daryl from The Walking Dead, I imagine they'd be cracking jokes in between stabbing walkers, just to keep sane. And maybe that's the trick. Ellie's not trying to be funny, she's trying to remind herself and maybe even Joel that they're still just human. Making moments like this kinda nice though. As the player then, it pulls you closer to Ellie. It's not just about surviving or mowing down enemies as Joel. It's about being with Ellie and the lame jokes she carries around in that book.
A backwards poet writes in verse.
Do you even get that?
Of course not. I used to be addicted to soap, but I'm clean now.
All right, I've actually never heard that one.
What's becoming clearer now with Ellie and her jokes is the bond forming between the two. Ellie shows a real sense of care towards them, even if Joel hasn't quite opened up to her in the same way just yet.
That is actually before my time. That is a winner, though.
As we move forward, there's more graffiti on the walls ahead, similar to what we've seen before, but it's accompanied now by a grim addition, with bodies strung up around it. Ellie and Joel share their take on what's happened here.
Man, you gotta be crazy to string up soldiers.
You get people desperate enough, they'll do just about anything.
And the people that rose up, they're the ones we've been fighting here?
That'd be my bet.
It seems like the hunters have seized control over the quarantine zone, which would explain why it's overrun by savagery now. Their uprising taking out the military feels like it was inspired by the remnants of the Fireflies, showing us how their actions have left a mark even in their absence.
You're a firefly.
So instead of just staying in school, you decide to run up and join the Fireflies.
As I navigate the surrounding area and scavenge for supplies as Joel, Ellie wanders off a bit, doing what she does best, starting a conversation in the most unexpected way.
I thought you had plenty of food in your time.
Oh, we did. Some just chose not to eat it.
Why the hell not?
For looks,
That's stupid.
Whether she knows it or not though, it's true. Joel's seen it all. And you can tell moments like these give her a small glimpse into a world she never knew. A world long gone.
Seems to be some commotion coming from
While the game's stunning graphics bring the soulless, decaying cities to life, it's observations like Ellie's that drive home how much has changed, shaped by 20 years of survival and stripped of the standard that once defined society. We're not just seeing the world through Joel's eyes anymore.
Don't tell me it's busted.
The player can find a letter that adds yet another painful layer to the picture of Fedra's rule to this zone and the fall of Pittsburgh. It's from Eva. Her story is heartbreaking. Her son was executed by Fedra for being a traitor. It doesn't say outright which resistance group her son was tied to, but it's safe to assume it was probably the Fireflies. After losing her boy, Eva was pushed to the edge. She joined the rebels, got handed a gun, and given a mission to overthrow Fedra's military rule, with her drive for her son pushing her towards to fight for all the mothers and fathers who were affected and suffered the same loss. Joel can relate to this in his own way. That's how he ended up the way he is now. He's seen firsthand what happens when the world falls apart.
Somebody, we've just been through hell. Okay, we just need... Shit. Please don't...
Fedra didn't care about the people 20 years ago, and from the looks of it nothing has changed.
Next time I'm gonna put a bullet in your head. You hear me?
Fedra has taken advantage of the vulnerable. They're no different to the extreme groups found in the Walking Dead series. I know I've brought up the Walking Dead a couple of times now, but hey, while we're at it, who's your favourite character? For me, it's gotta be Negan. He's ruthless, sure, but man is he ever compelling. After reading Eva's letter, Joel comments quietly,
with that kind of thinking, no one wins.
so what does that mean for Joel? You went through the same thing with Sarah. Doesn't he feel Eva's pain? Her grief mirrors what Joel felt. But instead of fighting back, he buried it deep down, convincing himself that survival meant shutting it out. For obvious reasons, maybe that made it easier for Joel to keep going, but deep down, does it really make him any less broken than Eva from this letter? Somewhere inside Joel, there's that voice, the same voice Rick Grimes had when Negan got the jump on them. It's heavy stuff, more food for thought as we press on.
What the hell?
Oh, this place is bad.
Coming off the somber tone of the letter and the grim sounds of people meeting their end outside the hotel, Ellie's playful reenactment of checking in comes as a welcome relief.
Oh, I'll be checking in for one night, and I would like your finest suite, please.
The hell are you doing?
Why, yes, you can take my luggage upstairs.
Finding joy in this eerie abandoned hotel, as Joel and the player glimpse her naturally cling to her childhood despite the chaos around her. The guarded amusement in his voice reveals a faint warmth in their bond together.
You are a weird kid.
Moments like this balance the tension of the story, reminding us that even in the darkest times, people find ways to hold on to joy. Oh, but Ellie's not done yet. Out comes the joke book, her trusty source of comedy gold.
Do you know what's not right?
Left?
Yeah.
To the players, no surprise, they're not all that funny, sure, but it helps keep the mood light, even if it is just for a little longer.
People are making apocalypse jokes like there's no tomorrow. Too soon.
The laughter fades quickly though, as they stumble upon signs of hunters nearby. Once the danger is dealt with, leaving a mess that Lucille herself would be proud of, they find an elevator, and it looks about as safe as a hug from a clicker. But with no other options available, Joel and Ellie press on. Joel boosts Ellie up to find him something to climb. Joel plummets, smacking against the structure before crashing into the flooded area below. He shouts to Ellie,
I'm alright! You okay?
No! You scared the shit out of me! I'm gonna climb down there, okay?
No! Stay out there! I'll make my way up to you!
The tone shifts dramatically. Ellie's hotel antics had the player and Joel in a lighter mood, but now... we're stuck in the murky waters of this decaying building. Joel had joked earlier that this hotel was too rich for his blood.
You ever stayed at a place like this? Before it all went to shit, I mean?
No, this is too rich for my blood.
Said it was nice.
But right now it's a far cry from luxury. This is the gaming equivalent of walking into a dark basement and deciding that, yeah, I'm not getting paid enough for this. Clear sign that something horrible is most certainly lurking up ahead. Joel's decision to leave Ellie above shows how much he's willing to sacrifice to keep her safe. His protective instincts are on full display here. The waterlogged halls and decaying surroundings tell a story of their own, not just about the hotel's fall, but the broader collapse of society. And as Joel catches glimpses of his reflection in the murky water, it feels symbolic of his own struggles, his fight to rise above all the chaos, to protect Ellie, and to keep moving forward no matter how dire things get.
Do you get her to Tommy's?
Joel's basement adventure isn't pretty. After getting used to fighting the hunter groups on the higher floors of the hotel, it's almost easy to forget about the infected lurking below. Searching for the key while dealing with the generator and dodging the infected, it made me feel cornered and desperate with every moment weighed down by the building pressure. But once Joel uses the card on the reader, he can finally wave goodbye to the nightmare down here and focus on getting back to Ellie.
Not so much for that.
And of course, things don't go that smoothly. Joel's gun gets knocked out of reach, and before he can recover, the hunter is dunking Joel's head into a nearby puddle. And just like that, the tables turn.
And you just hang back like I told you to.
I feel sick.
Being saved by Ellie forces Joel to confront his own morality, to face the fact that he can't always be the one in charge.
Thanks for saving my ass. You got anything like that for me, Joel?
This moment feels like a turning point, showing that their relationship is changing, even if Joel isn't ready to accept it.
I'm glad I didn't get my head blown off by a goddamn kid.
You know what? No.
Instead of thanking Ellie, he makes her feel terrible about what she did. She grows more bitter over his reactions.
Wait there, okay?
Sure, Joel. Not going anywhere.
Making it out into the open feels more liberating compared to the basement, but it's far from safe. Joel quickly realizes they're outnumbered by hunters, and he comes up with a new plan. He tells Ellie he'll head down and take out every last one of them.
This is so stupid. We'd have more of a fucking chance if you let me help.
I am.
Joel surprises her. He lets her play the role of sniper, placing his trust in her to cover him if things go south down there. It's a big shift from earlier in the hotel. The scene clearly left an impact on Joel, even if he didn't outright apologize for how he treated Ellie. But he does admit
It was either him or me.
Joel's roundabout way of saying that if not for Ellie, he wouldn't have made it out alive.
You're welcome.
To be fair, if it weren't for Ellie or Tessa's dying wish, he wouldn't be in this situation to begin with.
Well, now what?
The aftermath of Joel's rampage becomes all too clear. One of the hunters stumbles upon the carnage.
They're all dead! They're all fucking dead!
The hell's he yapping about?
Joel and the player can feel their desperation as they scramble to retaliate, being fully aware that someone dangerous is moving through their territory. It's a moment for the player that highlights Joel's devastating impact. Sure, there's satisfaction in outsmarting and overpowering these hunters, but there's also a heaviness to it, a reminder that survival comes at a cost.
Come on, you don't need to be looking at that.
Ellie felt that weight too, back in the hotel after helping Joel. Soon after it went down, she admitted she felt sick.
Well, you're glad I didn't, right?
At the end of the day then, everyone, hunters, survivors, Joel and Ellie, they're all just trying to survive in their own way.
That's stupid.
But it doesn't stop you from wondering about the lengths Joel would go to keep himself and Ellie safe. He's more than just a survivor or a hunter. He's someone who's lived on both sides of this brutal world. After their skirmish with the surrounding hunters, Joel hands Ellie a gun, one that's more suited for her.
It's for emergencies only. You gotta respect it. This is not...
Joel, I'll be careful.
Okay.
Another subtle moment of trust as the two press on toward the bridge. Their conversation along the way reveals even more about their dynamic. At one point they notice a body strung up nearby. Ellie, still holding on to her sense of morality, thinks that it's harsh treatment.
Harsh punishment?
But Joel, with his hardened perspective, points out that it's not so different from what the military did back at Boston.
Yes, Ron, please!
It ain't that much different than what the military does back in Boston.
I guess not.
Ellie's reaction shows her youth and her hope of something better, a life beyond these brutal acts. She's still questioning the necessity of it all, reflecting her desire for a world that isn't so broken. This contrast deepens our understanding of Joel and Ellie's relationship, setting the stage then for Ellie's reckoning with these harsh realities as the story unfolds.
How about, hey, Ellie, I know it wasn't easy, but it was either him or me. Thanks for saving my ass.
There's a chilling scene up ahead. Joel and Ellie hidden from sight as they watch a group of survivors get caught out in the open by the patrolling hunters. The game keeps the details vague. For all I know, it could be those people connected to Eva from the letter we read earlier, or it could even be Ish from the sewer section later in the game. Right now it's hard to say. What is clear though is how much this moment weighs on Ellie. Growing up in a military zone, she was sheltered from this raw brutality of the outside world, but now traveling with Joel, she's exposed to these harsh truths again and again. You can hear it in her voice, how she pauses, trying to process the senseless violence.
Let's just get to that bridge.
Another glimpse of her innocence then being chipped away one moment at a time. Up ahead there's graffiti on the wall that reads,
I guess this is how it ended for this zone.
Well, every battle's got a losing side.
What if they had families?
Everyone has a family.
For me, this moment ties back to one of the game's larger themes. Survival often comes at the expense of ideals like freedom. Those who resist oppression in this world face destruction, and the state of Pittsburgh has that written all over it.
Best not to dwell on it.
How can you not?
As they move forward, the two need to find a way around a jeep armed with a turret. Joel and Ellie manage to get above it, then sneak into a building out of sight. When Joel enters through an open window, he's suddenly attacked. Ellie jumps in to defend him, stabbing the attacker with her pocket knife, giving Joel the upper hand to start fighting back. Henry explains that they were ambushed by the same hunter groups that got Joel and Ellie patrolling Pittsburgh. He admits that at first he mistakes Joel for one of the hunters, but quickly noticed Ellie, which made him curious about the pair.
I think I caught your name was Joel?
Ellie.
Henry and Sam act as a mirror to Joel and Ellie, and as it turns out, they're also looking for the Fireflies. Because if the player hasn't noticed it by now, that's what this world is. You're either living under the Fireflies, who use extreme measures to overthrow Fedra, or you're left dodging the hunter groups that take no prisoners. The four of them decide to team up to find a way out of the city. Should be easy enough, right? The more the merrier. But of course, things don't go as planned. Henry ends up feeling the pressure and decides to take his chances with Sam.
I'm sorry, we're leaving.
What? What the fuck, Henry?
Punch it!
We stick together.
Once outside, their destination looks closer than before, giving them a glimmer of hope. But it's short-lived.
No time to argue.
Ellie! Damn it!
And just like that, Joel is reminded yet again, nothing in this world is ever in his control.
Well, now what?
You can practically feel his frustration bubbling under the surface. Henry ditching them wasn't just a betrayal, it was a gamble with Joel and Ellie's lives. And for someone like Joel, who spent years making sure nobody else dictates his fate, that's a tough pill to swallow.
I got it.
Making you wonder how much of Joel's anger is about survival and how much of it is about something deeper. Maybe it's not about being left behind. Maybe it's about the fear of failing someone again. It's messy, just like what comes up next.
Henry, get back, son!
Hey. He's pissed, but he's not gonna do anything.
You sure about that?
Stop!
Joel?
He pulled Joel and Ellie out of the water before they drowned.
He saved me too. We would have drowned.
The group comes across this wrecked boat on the beach. Naturally, Joel checks it out and finds some supplies, and a note from a guy named Ish. The note's kind of a mini story. Apparently, Ish was stranded at sea and ended up crashing here, and eventually made his way into the sewers. Sounds like an adventure, right? Well, good, because that's where the group is headed next.
All right, come on, kids, go.
Now, the sewers are, well, the atmosphere is really creepy.
I'm not a fan of this place.
Me neither. We ain't got much of a choice.
But it's also fascinating as you explore. You'll find all these little signs of life, from the notes, defenses, and decorations. Turns out, Ish wasn't alone.
Henry, did you see that?
He helped build a small community here, which is actually kind of cool, to be honest. It's the last place where raiders and looters will come looking. For a while it seems like they had a good thing going, safety in numbers. Almost feels too good to be true, and well, it is, because this is The Last of Us, where happy endings are about as common as working vending machines.
Man, you lived in a strange time.
Told you so.
Before they can get too comfortable then, things take a nosedive. Infected swarm in, chaos erupts, and just when it couldn't get any worse, Joel, in classic Joel fashion, stumbles into a trap that tears him away from Henry and Ellie. It's Sam and Joel now, trying to get through this maze of tunnels while avoiding clickers. But eventually they regroup, and there's no time to celebrate. The infected are closing in. When they finally get outside, Joel notices some graffiti on the wall.
Look at this.
Oh, are you fucking kidding me?
Thanks for the heads up, right? And now, the quiet suburbs stretch out ahead of them. It's almost peaceful, birds chirping, moss-covered streets, and no sign of infected. For the first time in a while, they might catch their breath and even enjoy a nice barbecue. At least for now.
What about you? How you holding up?
Business as usual, right? When I was with Henry, I took out a couple of infected by myself. I'd be proud.
But Joel doesn't match her energy. His response, yeah, it's almost too quiet to hear, but that's Joel for you. He doesn't want to see her grow up like this, forced to face things no kid should have to. A letter from Kyle catches the player's eyes. It's a grim tale of survival. Kyle's family had been trapped by looters that were desperate and dangerous. They found a lifeline in Ish, who led them to where he was staying nearby, in the sewers, where it was safer and more secure, at least for a while. But safety is never permanent in this world, with the infected breaching their defenses, forcing Kyle to do what he had to do, taking his children's lives before they can turn, and right after his own, allowing the player to see this horrifying glimpse into the choices people in The Last of Us are having to make when survival feels impossible. Another note from Ish reveals what happens next. He managed to escape with Susan, Kyle's wife, and a few of the other survivors, but Susan wanted to go back. She couldn't leave her children behind, even if it meant risking everything. Ish stops her though. In his letter, he talks about the pain he was going through and wanting to give up, but he didn't. He opted to keep going on. And that's where his story ends. His notes stop from here, and we're left to wonder, with the uncertainty of their fates lingering in the air, making me and potentially other players who played the game to wonder maybe there could have been that couple Joel and Ellie saw back in Pittsburgh. The game keeps it vague, and maybe that's for the best. Some stories are heavier when left unfinished, with the unknown making them feel more haunting. When looking at the letters then from Eva and Ish, the timing is important. Back when Eva wrote hers, the quarantine zone was still being managed compared to now, where it's completely abandoned. The same goes for Ish's notes. They come from much closer to the initial outbreak, but what's really interesting here is the thought of their fate and how it might be the same as the couple from that scene Joel and Ellie saw back in the city, when the hunters got the better of them.
What the hell? Oh, this place is bad.
Assuming it is them though, it's enough to make the weight of their fate illustrate the dangers around every corner. Let me know how you feel about that in the comments. The world, even in a state like this, finds moments of normalcy, with Ellie and Sam embracing it, sharing a few fleeting carefree moments together, as if the world outside doesn't exist.
How did you two end up together?
A friend of mine, Marlene, asked him to take me to the Fireflies.
You seem to get along well.
Now I just boss him around. Isn't that right, Joel?
It's a nice, light-hearted moment. The two for a second can just be kids.
They sell ice cream out of the truck.
What? No way, Joel?
It's true. The kids would come running out to buy ice cream.
You're totally fucking with me.
Serious.
Just another reminder of everything the outbreak stole from them. So imagine what it's like for Joel, someone who lived that normal life only to have it ripped away. The past isn't just a memory for him, it's a constant reminder of what's gone wrong.
Keep looking at me, baby.
Up ahead though, reality crashes back in. A sniper's perched in one of the houses, ready to take down anything that moves.
I'm gonna go around and see if I can't get the angle.
When the dust settles then, Joel makes it to the sniper. And the guy doesn't stand a chance. As he peers through the scope though, the situation takes a grim turn. Joel channels his sharpshooter instincts, picking them off one by one, but the relief is short-lived. Out of nowhere then, clickers swarm the area, adding to the mayhem.
Sam, are you okay? Yeah, I'm fine.
Come on!
With Joel's help, the group manages to hold them off long enough to make their escape. That night then, they find shelter in an empty house, a rare moment of safety around a makeshift camp.
That's all he wanted to do is just rent 2 Harleys and drive cross country.
I could die happy if I could just ride one around the block.
Well, it's safe to say those two have officially bonded.
She hands him the toy he'd been eyeing back at the store, a gesture of kindness that says more than words ever could, but Sam barely reacts.
How is it that you're never scared?
Who says that I'm not?
Ellie doesn't notice his unease and bids him good night and leaves the room. But as the door closes, the camera lingers on Sam. He looks down, revealing the bite mark on his leg, with his silence taking on a new meaning, only a way that the player can understand. The next morning, Ellie goes to check on Sam, but before she can react...
Sam!
What the hell? Shit, he's turning!
That's my fucking brother!
Screw it!
In the end, it's Henry who pulls the trigger, stopping Sam for good, with the act shattering him though. As he's overcome with grief and guilt, he turns the gun to himself, leaving Ellie and Joel stunned in silence. As the sobering reality sinks in, they could end up like this someday. The bond they've built, the trust they share, it could all end just as tragically.
Was that everything you hoped for?
The forests of Jackson County come to life with the sounds from the waterfalls coming from up ahead.
Oh, I'll be checking in for one night.
It almost feels normal for a brief moment, the kind of place you'd want to stop and take in if the world wasn't the way it is. But that feeling never lasts in this game, does it? But still, the scenery around Joel and Ellie evokes enough beauty to temporarily distract you from the horrors of the world. Almost.
Holy shit.
A small grave stops Ellie in her tracks, no doubt triggering memories of Sam and his toy robot. You can tell without her saying it, she's replaying that moment in her head.
Things happen, and we move on.
But for Joel, he's locked it up tight, keeping his emotions sealed away, like he always does. That grave then is a reminder of everything Joel's lost, from Tess at the Capitol building to the start of the game with Sarah. And now Henry and Sam. And Joel's way of coping with all this is to never talk about it. Not now. Not ever.
It's just...
That's enough. 2 shits what you're up to.
Well, great.
Good.
You're right.
For the player, the transition from Pittsburgh to Jackson County is quick, but in their world they've been walking for days, making me wonder what they could have been talking about all this time. Maybe Joel's given Ellie some life advice about staying out of trouble. Stuff like don't do drugs, or maybe it's just been days of quiet footsteps and unspoken grief for all I know. Whatever the case though, whether it's advice, small talk, or just long stretches of silence, it's time for their journey to take a turn, and it does, just not in the way they expect it.
Don't even think about reaching for your weapon. Tell the girl to drop hers now.
Ellie, do as the lady says.
Please tell me you're lost.
You're all right.
But you know these people?
And it turns out to be Tommy, his brother. After everything then, the two are finally face to face.
How you doing, baby brother?
While Joel and Tommy catch up, Ellie hangs out with Maria, Tommy's wife. Maria also tries to warm up to Joel. He is family after all. But before Joel can have a real heart-to-heart with Tommy, an urgent matter from his wife, Maria, pulls Tommy away, and Joel follows.
I'm sending Tommy over. Stand by.
I've been on quite the adventure, little brother.
I reckon it's got something to do with that girl.
He's doing everything he can to convince his brother to take over the task, knowing what's at stake if he keeps going.
I didn't mean for this.
Get a move on.
But from Tommy's point of view, it's clear why he's so reluctant. There's a history between them, a history that makes him hesitant to follow Joel's lead again.
I got nothing but nightmares from those years.
You survived because of me.
Tommy's priorities have shifted, and his focus is on his wife and the community he's built here.
This will be the 6th time of them trying to get the turbines back online. We've been here just a week, and it feels like forever.
Joel's attempts to offload Ellie isn't just about the logistics, it's about fear. He's terrified of letting himself care too deeply again. You can see his desperation, his reaching his breaking point. This moment highlights for the player a lot about Joel's internal struggles. He's torn between keeping people at arm's length for the sake of self-preservation and risking vulnerability by letting Ellie in.
I didn't mean for this.
And then there's the irony. Joel asks Tommy to take Ellie because of his past ties to the Fireflies,
I was close with his brother Tommy. Said if I was ever in a jam, I could rely on him.
believing that the connection makes him the right person for the job.
Get her to Tommy's.
When in reality, it's Joel that's best suited for the job because he's built a better connection with her and he knows her better than anyone aside from Marlene.
Tommy, I need this.
Tommy's cause isn't just the Fireflies anymore. His life now and his purpose is his wife and the community he's worked so hard to build and protect, showing just how much the brothers have changed and how far they've come from what they used to do.
Thanks for not blowing my head off.
Would have been embarrassing, considering you're my brother-in-law.
But there's no time to dwell on it as the ruckus outside comes knocking. Bandits swarm Tommy's community, leaving no time for debate. The two brothers have no choice but to fight side by side to fend off the attackers and protect what Tommy's built.
I was too damn close.
You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Joel! Oh man, they were coming in from every direction. Then Maria was like, "We gotta run!" And so we dove over these tables, and this huge guy blasted with a shotgun.
Slow down. Listen, hey.
The next scene unfolds with Tommy speaking to Maria.
Absolutely not. You tell him to go find somebody else.
Maria, I can't have this hanging over my head.
She doesn't want to end up a widow because of one mistake on Tommy's part. Despite the sharpness of her tone, there's love behind it, a desperation to keep him safe.
Hey, what's that all about? Does that have anything to do with me?
Talk about it later.
Joel brushes her off, with his focus locked on the argument in front of him.
I have to do this. I don't know what else to say.
But before the matter can be settled, she turns to Joel, stepping close enough to make her point clear.
Here we go.
You. If anything at all happens to him, it's on you.
By the time Joel realizes the weight of those words, Ellie is gone. She's heard enough to understand what's happening. Without waiting for anyone's permission, she's made her own decision and decided to go AWOL, heading off into the unknown. Tommy and Joel set off on horseback, following the trail Ellie left behind. The ride isn't without danger though.
Whoa!
Eventually they find her at an abandoned mansion.
Is this really all they had to worry about? Boys? Movies?
Joel tells her he's sticking to the plan, in leaving her with Tommy to continue this mission. But Ellie doesn't take it lightly, with her emotions pouring out, raw and unfiltered. She's all bitter, hurt and on the verge of breaking down, laying out how everyone she's ever cared about has either left her or been taken away from her. Everyone except for Joel.
I can't get infected. I can take care of myself.
How many close calls have we had?
Well, we seem to be doing all right so far.
And now you'll be doing even better with Tommy.
She makes it clear that she wants to stay with him, but Joel, even in her vulnerable moment, is still struggling to let her fully in. Then Ellie mentions Sarah, his daughter. She tells him that Maria told her all about her.
You have no idea what loss is.
Sarah,
And while Ellie doesn't mean harm, it's a touchy subject. That fear, the one Joel doesn't want to admit out loud, takes hold of him. Shutting Ellie out is easier than facing what she's come to mean to him. But in this world, there's no time to sit around with your feelings.
You're right. You're not my daughter. And I sure as hell ain't your dad.
Before they can settle anything, Tommy rushes in with a warning. More bandits are closing in, so whatever just happened between Joel and Ellie will have to wait. Survival comes first.
Don't do anything stupid.
When they finally return, the sight of Tommy's community offers a fully functioning place, a rare chance at living in this broken world. Joel instead uses this moment to press Tommy about the Fireflies lab. Tommy reveals it's in the university in Colorado. There's even a light-hearted moment when Joel jokes about Maria scaring him too much to go along with letting Tommy take care of the rest, especially if things went wrong.
Anything at all happens to him, it's on you.
I don't want her coming after me.
Come back to town, let's discuss it at least.
This moment should highlight clearly to the player and Ellie that it meant something for Joel. It feels like coming so close to losing Ellie finally forced him to confront the truth that they're better off together, and maybe, just maybe, even after this mission is over, that they'll still need each other.
Well, I'm sorry. I trust him better than I trust myself.
Stop with the bullshit. What are you so afraid of?
You know me, my mind's all made up.
For Joel, this choice isn't just about what's right, it's about what he can live with. He understands that Tommy has built something rare in this world: stability, a family, a future. Asking him to throw it away for now, then, it's a line Joel won't cross. But Ellie, that's different. And whether he admits it or not, Joel is the only steady presence in her life. Protecting her isn't just about duty anymore, it's personal. Losing Sarah turned him into a man who keeps people at arm's length. But Ellie, she's slipping past every defense, not as a replacement, but as proof that caring isn't a weakness. It's the one thing keeping him human. The next stop is the university in Colorado. Completely abandoned, slightly terrifying. And there's no sign of the Fireflies, but maybe they're deeper inside.
Well, we'll head to Central Grounds. Should be able to see most of the campus from there.
As they explore, Ellie is always one to lighten up the mood. She starts talking about space, how she dreams of being an astronaut.
That a fact?
Yeah, imagine being up there all by yourself. Would have been cool.
Which to me is interesting in the sense that a girl terrified of being left behind is fantasizing about solitude. Maybe it's a way to escape past disappointment. Or maybe she really likes sci-fi. Either way, it's a rare look at the future she wishes she could have. Joel plays along when she flips the question on him. He hesitates before admitting that he'd like to have been a singer.
Shut up.
No, serious.
I know, right? Joel, the gruff survivalist, which Ellie latches onto immediately, as you can imagine.
Sing something.
No.
Come on, I won't laugh.
I don't think so.
Joel, please.
It's a small moment, but it shows how far they've come. Then she pries a little further into Joel's past, but the weight of it all sits between them. He's not ready to open up yet, but at the same time, he doesn't shut her out completely either.
I had Sarah when I was pretty young.
Were you married?
For a while.
What happened?
Okay.
Too much?
Too much.
Meanwhile, the campus is still far too quiet, enough to make the two worry and feel that it's not a good sign so far.
Are we ever gonna find living fireflies?
Yeah, I'd expect to see someone by now.
We lost 2 more guards to infected attacks. They're about to go have another goddamn meeting about the safety of this lab.
Turns out they were preparing to leave, but their destination to where they went wasn't clear. A researcher who freed the test monkeys got bitten for his trouble.
Oh my god.
I'm sure glad we didn't mess with them monkeys.
He didn't say where they went.
I know, let's just keep looking.
Another recording gives them a lead.
You're looking for the fireflies. They've all left. I'm dead. Or I will be soon. They've all returned to St. Mary's Hospital in Salt Lake City. You'll find them there, still trying to save the world. Good luck with that.
As you can imagine from the sight of things, this message is old, as the game zooms in on the skeleton nearby. Before they can process any of it, Joel spots flashlights in the distance. Someone's closing in. The calm shatters. Gunfire erupts.
The fuck are these guys?
It don't matter. We know where to go. Let's get the hell out of here.
In the chaos, Joel and Ellie try to escape, but disaster strikes.
You asshole!
He's barely holding on, but Ellie, refusing to give up, manages to fight off the rest of the attackers.
Behind you.
What?
Ellie!
Oh shit. Oh shit.
Get the horse.
All right, I think we're safe. Joel? Joel? You gotta tell me what to do.
She finds shelter in an abandoned store. Joel, slumped in a back room, is barely conscious. He's bleeding out and fading fast, and for the first time their roles flip. The man who's always been her shield is now helpless, and Ellie, the kid who had someone watching over her, is suddenly alone. But hesitation for her isn't an option. Joel is her family now, and she's not planning on saying goodbye to him anytime soon.
I'll be back in a flash.
Ellie ventures into the mall in search of supplies. The space is eerie, as if danger is always a step behind. She comes across a locked first aid kit and a note about a pharmacist who might have the key. In the store up ahead, finding the pharmacist's reanimated corpse has Ellie wrestle with fear, but she handles the pressure and retrieves the key.
Oh, fuck! God damn it.
Only to find that first aid kit from earlier is empty.
No.
Frustrated but undeterred, she spots a military helicopter nearby and makes her way towards it, hoping it holds the supplies she needs. The journey to the helicopter is anything but easy.
Oh, God!
Ellie's resourcefulness is tested as she powers parts of the mall to reach the helicopter, evading her pursuers while keeping her focus sharp.
Note to self, don't touch electric water. All right, helicopter. Let's do this.
Inside the chopper, Ellie finally finds what she's searching for.
Please be in here, please be in here.
The relief floods in, but it's short-lived. Getting back to Joel becomes a harrowing ordeal as hunters close in on his location.
Fucking door!
They're gonna get him. I gotta do something, fast. No one's alive! Don't even think about surprising me! Line up like your friends, you hear me? Don't worry. I've done this before. I'm kind of an expert.
As the player can see, it's not just his body Ellie is mending, it's the bond they've built together, the bond she once begged him to stay for. With Joel's emotional walls he put up to shield himself finally getting taken down, making room for that connection between him and Ellie to grow.
I'm not letting you go.
Especially in this moment where Joel needs her now, as Ellie steps in to hold it all together. A relationship that Joel, despite everything, has come to value.
You are a weird kid.
It's no longer just about survival, it's about the sacrifice and the lengths we'd go for the people that we care about, which is awesome to see here, especially in a world that constantly devalues human connection.
Do it.
Please!
Two shits what you're up to.
Well, great.
Good.
Their relationship becomes a reason to keep fighting, no matter what the odds are. Their hope of saving humanity and their journey to the Fireflies then will have to wait. Joel's recovery is Ellie's top priority. His wounds are looking better, but without the proper medicine, survival is still uncertain for Joel. After this, we can see Ellie struggling to get by on her limited supply. She spots something much bigger. It's a chance to keep herself and Joel fed for a while, but just as she's about to claim her prize, two strangers show up, introducing themselves as David, the leader, and James, his right-hand man, or as Ellie dubs him.
Ditto for buddy boy over there.
When they mention they have medicine, it catches her attention. She ends up striking a deal with the two. As requested by David, James heads off to retrieve the medicine, leaving Ellie alone with David. David in this time makes small talk, asking for Ellie's name and warning her about the dangers of being out here alone. But before the conversation goes deeper, a swarm of infected crashes the scene. In the chaos, David pulls out a backup gun, making Ellie instantly distrust him. But there's no time to argue.
No matter what, we have to keep them out.
Once the swarm is dealt with, David uses this moment to start a new conversation, praising Ellie for holding her own. She brushes it off, chalking it up to luck. But David insists that everything happens for a reason.
This winter. That's been especially cruel.
Explaining how he sent some of his men to scavenge in a nearby town, of which only a few returned, and apparently the rest got killed by a crazy man traveling with a girl.
You see, Everything happens for a reason.
She works out that it's the same group responsible for Joel's injury at the university. Her defense instincts kick in, and she raises her rifle at David.
Don't get upset. It's not your fault. I'm just a kid.
Suddenly, James reappears.
No way, David. I'm not gonna let her go.
Lower the gun. Now give her the medicine.
Ellis won't be happy about this.
Yeah, well, that's not your concern.
She snatches the medicine and backs away, rejecting David's offer of protection. It's plain for the player to see that after all of this, there's no way she's going to end up trusting David. The game cuts to Ellie now back at her horse. From there, the scene skips to Joel's location.
Hold on. You're gonna make it.
The next morning, she's jolted awake by loud voices and the sounds of rummaging outside. Though David himself isn't visible, his hunters are closing in though.
They tracked me.
Forcing her to think fast. Once again, Ellie's put Joel's recovery and safety above everything else. Eventually though, she circles back, believing that she's thrown him off her trail. Inside one of the buildings she's trying to leave, David shows up out of nowhere and ambushes her, dragging her deeper into his grasp.
There you go.
The hunters then are doing what hunters do, taking what they need. No different from anyone else who's gone feral in this world. They're ready to make an example of their captives. Whether it's Ellie first with Joel coming to save her, or both ending up on the chopping block. At this point, it's anyone's guess.
Considering you and your friend killed how many men?
They didn't give us a choice.
How did you put it? Tiny pieces. See you in the morning, Ellie.
Ellie?
It's clear now just how much he cares for her. Her unwavering determination to save him, not giving up on Joel for 2 weeks, starts to sink in.
A few weeks back, sent a group of men out. He said that the others had been slaughtered by a crazy man.
He starts by taking out the hunters guarding the houses in, though he's caught off guard at one point. During this, he still manages to outsmart his attackers, knocking them out.
Oh, shit! Now you're gonna mark it on the map. And it better be the same exact spot your buddy points to. Mark it.
It's right there. I ain't telling you shit.
That's all right. I believe him.
No, wait!
When we return to Ellie, she gets a rude awakening.
I warned you.
Ellie resists, even biting David in desperation. Ellie thinks fast once again, quickly telling him that she's infected, using this opportunity to cast doubt.
Everything happens for a reason, right?
David plays along, inspecting her arm, but his revelation throws him off. James starts to believe her, but David himself isn't so quick to accept it, because doing so would mean admitting he's infected. In this confusion, Ellie makes her move. Ducking and weaving as a relentless pack of hunters close in, the player and Ellie move through the abandoned stores and snow-covered streets, where the blizzard isn't just a force of nature, it's our secret ally at the same time. The winds howl and the poor visibility gives Ellie enough cover needed to slip away. Ellie finds herself in an empty restaurant, offering a fleeting chance to hide. David appears again, cutting off any hope of refuge along with it.
You're easy to track.
In that moment, the stakes become all too real. Ellie, armed with her trusty switchblade, must now navigate the restaurant which David has turned into a fiery trap. Lanterns shattered during their scuffle, and flames have begun consuming the building, making the air thick with smoke. While the heat is a welcome break from the freezing blizzard outside, Ellie's blood is already boiling at the sight of David. He isn't just chasing her, he's taunting her at the same time, harassing her at every turn.
Shook my face. Come on out. We just end.
The gameplay becomes a tense game of cat and mouse.
It's gonna be alright.
The scene cuts back to Joel. Desperate to find Ellie, he stumbles upon one of their meat lockers. Among the hanging carcasses, he finds Ellie's belongings, including her backpack. And then just up ahead, he sees it.
Oh, Christ.
His urgency to find Ellie reaches its peak.
Ellie?
David appears off camera, kicking her down as she crawls. As she's struggling, he taunts her.
I knew you had heart. You know, it's okay to give up.
The player and Ellie must continue inching closer to the knife, even with David looming over her. It's unclear if David notices the knife or if at this point he's already resigned to his fate, perhaps accepting the bite Ellie gave him earlier. Either way, he flips her over and begins choking her. The situation looks grim, but Ellie summons her last bit of strength, grabs the knife nearby and lashes out, spiraling into a frenzy, hacking at David repeatedly, unable to stop. By the time Joel arrives, Ellie is still attacking David's lifeless body, with Joel having to physically pull her away. He holds her tightly as he tries to console her, but she's not hearing him. All Ellie can hear is the raw intensity of her trauma, a deafening sensation that drowns everything else out. Both the player and Ellie are left in that overwhelming state, haunted by the weight of what just happened. The game transitions to spring, with winter now behind them. However, its impacts still linger. Ellie stands quietly staring at an engraving of a deer as she takes in the silent moment of reflection that connects her to everything that unfolded during the harsh winter. With the deer symbolizing more than just her survival, to me it also hints at her fading innocence and the scars left by her encounter with David and the horrors that followed. Could the deer mean something more for Ellie, like guilt? Or it could just even be simple at times, because it's crazy to think that her journey with Joel started not long after her time with Riley. Remember when Ellie told Joel and Tess about her bite mark? She said that it was only 3 weeks. Maybe the deer then reflects her fading innocence, something that she's been forced to leave behind.
There's some more stuff over there you can break.
But as she stands there, Joel calls her name, snapping her back to the present.
And once we're done with this whole thing, I'm gonna teach you how to play guitar. Another city, another abandoned quarantine zone.
They move through the empty city, heading towards the hospital where the Fireflies are waiting. Up ahead, her quiet and reserved behavior persists, where she seems lost in her own mind and distant.
Everything all right?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You just kind of seem extra quiet today. Ellie?
Up ahead, there's a part where they need to get to a higher vantage point to reach the hospital, where Ellie suddenly bolts ahead, dropping the ladder down to Joel. Confused then by her behavior, Joel rushes up the ladder after her, calling for her to slow down, but that's when he and the players see the game reveal something unexpected.
You see this?
Ellie is captivated, her excitement bubbling over in a rare moment of pure childlike joy. Joel encourages her to get closer, to pet the giraffe, and she does.
Hurry up.
Hey there. Oh, where's it off to? Come on, let's go.
Slow down, kiddo. So, is this everything you were hoping for?
The scene feels like a break from everything they've been through, the misery with the hunters at the university during the horrors of winter. For a brief moment then, Ellie and Joel can leave all that behind and just be in the moment.
You know, it's okay to give up.
We stick together.
No, we are survivors.
This is our chance.
It is over, Tess!
Oh my god.
You are a weird kid.
Who the fuck is this punk?
I feel sick. You're gonna make it. It's got its ups and downs, but you can't deny the view, though.
For Joel, this moment is more than just a fleeting distraction, but a rare opportunity for him to allow himself to feel happiness again after everything he's been through since losing Sarah. A moment of joyful peace he probably didn't think he'd have again, and also serves as a reflection then of how far they've come and how much of Ellie's world has changed from her previous sheltered life in the Fedra QZ.
What are you doing?
I'm making sure I don't get caught with a firefly in my room. Relax.
The next scene brings a conversation that's been quietly building over their journey. It's a vulnerable moment, one that mirrors how Ellie must have felt when Joel once said,
"You're not my daughter."
But with Joel now on the receiving end of that emotional weight.
We don't have to do this. You know that, right?
It's an offer that feels like Joel is trying to protect her, maybe even himself, with Joel finally opening up to Ellie.
Look, I know you mean well, but there's no halfway with this.
They've come too far, and turning back would dishonor everything, reminding the player and Joel of what's been sacrificed, from Tessa's determination to Riley's connection to the Fireflies.
This is fucking real, Joel.
They both know what's at stake now, showing how much their bond has grown as they continue to press on together towards the end of their journey.
I ain't leaving without you. So let's go wrap this up.
Ellie stops Joel up ahead to show him something she stole from Maria, Tommy's wife. It's classic Ellie really, thoughtful in her own way. She lifts out a photo of Joel and Sarah, the one Tommy tried to give him back at Jackson County, but he refused.
Faded, but still looks pretty good.
Seeing this side of Joel is becoming less rare for her, this moment of genuine vulnerability. Well, is in good health anyway. With Joel's gratitude then showing her a new level of trust, and how much he's let her into a part of himself is buried for years. And that's exactly what Ellie's given him, the chance to heal. Through her journey then, she's become more than just cargo. She became family. By letting her in, Joel found something he thought was lost forever, a reason to keep going, not just to survive, but to live. Joel needed to acknowledge and accept the past, and be at peace with it in order to make room for happiness. It's hard then in this moment not to think back to their fight at the mansion. He thought cutting her loose would free him to return to his hollow, grief-stricken existence. But here they are now, standing together, Joel holding that photo of Sarah and Ellie, the girl who's helped him begin to heal, and in the process showing how much she understands Joel. That winter, Ellie saved Joel physically, and now, in her own way, she's saving him emotionally, further reflecting their growing trust and unspoken bond as they head towards the hospital.
You're welcome.
The only way up ahead is through a tunnel, dark, dangerous, and swarming with infected. Then comes another obstacle.
Let me go ahead, and you follow my lead.
Okay, right behind
They
you.
press on carefully until their makeshift bridge, an old bus suddenly gives way. Joel is still on it when it collapses. Ellie makes it to safety, but Joel isn't so lucky. He gets swept away on the bus, and to make matters worse, the bus starts to flood with him trapped inside. Joel struggles to get free, but before he can, Ellie does something reckless, something so Ellie. Despite knowing full well she still can't swim.
Give me your hand! Give me your hand before you...
The current sweeps Joel further downstream, but when he spots Ellie floating unconscious, with everything he has left, he makes his way to her. There's a moment of horrifying deja vu as Joel realizes Ellie isn't breathing. The music then shifts, echoing the tone of that night years ago with Sarah.
Sarah.
Time feels frozen as he fights to save her. Suddenly, they're not alone. As Joel is knocked out, leaving the player with an eerie reminder of what he went through at the start of the game.
Don't do this to me, baby.
The player then is left in suspense, unsure if Ellie is okay, or what's going on with Joel.
Welcome to the Fireflies.
The only thing on his mind is Ellie.
She's all right. They brought her back.
Maybe it was meant to be.
Somehow we find you just in time to save her. Maybe it was meant to be.
However, Joel isn't interested in her reflections. Instead, he insists on seeing Ellie now. But Marlene pushes back, telling Joel his job is done. Once he might have welcomed those words as a way out, now it feels like a direct blow to everything he's come to value, with Joel not wanting to walk away. The moment highlights a key theme of the story. The past stays with us, but it's how we face it that defines who we are. Joel has spent years drowning in grief and guilt. He's finally moved on, and he won't lose Ellie. Not now, not ever.
What do you mean, surgery?
The doctors tell me the cordyceps is somehow mutated. It's why she's immune. Once they remove it, they'll be able to reverse engineer a vaccine.
But it grows all over the brain.
Joel immediately pieces it together.
Find someone else.
And there's no way Joel's okay with this. His voice turns cold, squaring up to Marlene, ready to fight.
Stop. I promised your mother I would look after her.
Then why are you letting this happen?
Because this isn't about me. There is no other choice here.
Yeah, you keep telling yourself that bullshit.
Realizing Joel won't back down and that is a threat, Marlene orders her man to take him out of the building, adding to it a command as cold as the winter they recently went through.
If he tries anything, shoot him.
I say keep walking.
The man hesitates, but Joel has no patience left. In an instant, Marlene's goon then is no longer a problem. Because from Joel's perspective, before he was caught by the Fireflies, he was still allowed to be happy with Ellie. Ironically, before talking with Marlene, he was set on doing what the Fireflies wanted, as long as it meant that he'd be taking Ellie home with him.
Well, I ain't leaving without you.
Most players will feel the same, that Joel has earned that selfishness. After everything the world has taken from him, his chance at fatherly happiness with Ellie is on the line again, and Marlene's people with their so-called greater good are the ones threatening it. Something neither Joel nor the players saw coming, but really how else was it gonna go after everything Joel and Ellie have been through together? And now this. The resistance to Fedra, the Firefly group themselves.
Welcome to the Fireflies.
Tess put them on the map, trying to inspire Joel. The connection Ellie's friend had with them, Ellie's mom's legacy. To the player then more than ever, it really feels like Joel's turning his back on all that.
Yeah, you keep telling yourself that bullshit.
Making it clear to the player how Joel feels about Marlene and her cause, and how they can all go screw themselves. The Fireflies become the final boss. Instead of something typical like the hordes of infected, including those massive bloaters we've seen running around. Finally, you make it to Ellie's room.
Sweet Jesus.
There's this quiet moment then where everything slows down, with Joel just standing there watching, allowing the player to take control when they're ready to see what happens next.
Doctor? What are you doing in here?
When you pull that trigger, it's not about what's happening in the game, but what it means.
Yeah, you keep telling yourself that bullshit.
The impact of this moment is unforgettable because as the player, you're given the power to act as Joel, to shoot down the doctor and the nurses, allowing you to be a part of Joel saving Ellie. The music here is heavy and somber, like the game is telling us that what Joel and the player just did isn't being glorified.
I got you. Oh shit.
As Joel and Ellie are swarmed by Fireflies, you, the player, are with them every step of the way, and everything they're going through. The final stretch is a race against time, dodging gunfire, trying to reach that elevator up ahead.
I said get back!
But Marlene is right there waiting.
Even if you get her out of here, then what? How long before she's torn to pieces by a pack of clickers?
She surrenders her weapon, giving Joel a moment to think.
What happened?
We found the Fireflies.
And now we see Joel fully commit to his selfishness. He's taking care of Marlene. He shoots her down as she gets close, trying to gain his trust. The player can see the wheels turning in Joel's mind, but it's also clear how far Marlene's willing to go, putting herself in that vulnerable spot in an effort to save humanity.
Turns out there's a whole lot more like you, Ellie. I'm taking us home. I'm sorry.
He spins the story to keep her on his side, knowing that she was unconscious through it all, so she has no idea what really went down.
Looks like we're walking.
Their car breaks down just outside Tommy's, giving them time to catch up as they walk the rest of the way.
Back when I was bitten, I wasn't alone. My best friend was there. She says, let's just wait it out. I'm still waiting for my turn.
Ellie.
Her name was Riley, and she was the first to die. And then it was Tess.
She's seen enough suffering from the infection, and she's still young and impressionable. She wants to believe in something noble, in saving the world.
Swear to me that everything that you said about the Fireflies is true.
I swear.
Okay.
So, would you do the same as Joel? Would you kill innocent people just to hold on to what keeps you going?
You survived because of me.
It wasn't worth it.
Are you willing to pay that price? Joel's choice reflects his desire for salvation at the cost of damnation, reminding us that sometimes to keep love alive in a shattered world, you have to risk potentially losing yourself entirely. And if that's the cost, then maybe deep down we're all wondering if we'd be brave enough to pay it. Ellie for Joel became his reason to live, a piece of the life that was stolen from him in a world that takes more than it gives.
And still do the right thing here.
So would you save the world or take back what the world took from you?
I swear.
It's not so black and white, and it's written that way for a reason. You start the game as Joel, you live through his losses, his fears, and his survival. Losing Sarah wasn't a part of the plan, neither was finding and holding on to someone like Ellie. But try explaining that to Marlene. Someone who claims to have lost just as much and will stop at nothing to see her cause through.
Apparently there's no way to extricate the parasite without eliminating the host. And now they're asking for my go-ahead. The tests just keep getting harder and harder, don't they? So be it.
From this angle then, it makes sense. Even if it doesn't seem right, it feels human in a world that's becoming less human every day. Joel's choice, selfish as it is hard to understand. I don't hate him for it, and I don't despise him. The story is told from his perspective, and knowing Joel, he wouldn't hesitate to do it all over again.
It's everything you were hoping for?
But there's another way to look at it, and that being Joel's days are numbered now.
Our beef isn't with you.
Whether it's from the Fireflies, the Doctors, or other factions like the Hunters, he's put himself on everyone's hit list. As the player then, we naturally want what's best for Joel. Maybe that means he shouldn't have done all this.
Wait! Let me go!
But at the same time then, doesn't he deserve to be happy?
Feeling my age now.
If you think like Joel, you start to see his reasoning. The world's already ended. He could lose his life at any moment. And in his eyes, there's worse ways to go than fighting for the one thing that still matters to him. And that's how he justifies it. And honestly, I see it that way too. Even if it doesn't make it right.
Please. You just come after her.
And this brings us to the end of the game. What was your favourite moment? I'd love to hear your thoughts too. Let me know in the comments. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, leaving a like really helps out. And if you like my style and want to see more from me, I'll be covering more games on the channel. So be sure to subscribe so you don't miss out.
Bye-bye,